To my knowledge, this hasn't been done that I know of. Could be wrong, just haven't seen it. Got a Comanche we'll see in a second that is a Renix edition. And they run different knuckles, hubs, bearings, brakes, that kind of setup. And also it has what they call the center axle disconnect. So it needs U-joints, and a good U-joint, please don't buy cheap ones. Buy Spicer, I'll explain that later on. But a good U-joint's going to cost you about $30, $35. Plus, they're a pain to put in, we know that. It's not that hard, it's just very aggravating. So, that's an option to fix the U-joints that it needs, or you can get these, and let's just say they're anywhere from 50 to 70 bucks. So if I can get it set up where I can just slide this lifetime warranty axle in and I'm done. See where I'm going with this? These technically don't fit the Comanche, but I'm going to see what it takes to make them fit. I know I've got a special seal, and I'll explain that when I get on the lift, but let's go get it. Lighting's probably going to be a little off, but y'all probably seen that truck. And as nice as it is, whenever I get time, I've got one basically the same thing, just needs a paint job. There's honestly, besides the bumper, not a dent on the truck, so with just a paint job, this thing would be pretty daggone mint condition. That's a project for another day. It's currently about 12 degrees. Let's see if this thing will crank. It does have a high output motor in a Renix form. Whew, it didn't like it. So what started this project is this truck needed U-joints pretty bad on this side. The other side's good, but check it out. Anytime you see like a brown rusty color, kind of like antifreeze brown, I guess you'd say, that means the U-joint is bad or going bad. Like, kind of just an off color. If you see the brown, that means the sealing surface is bad or something's gone wrong inside, and water, whatever debris is coming there and cleaned all the grease off. Well, then now those grease rollers start rusting and you get that brown color. So you can actually see metal starting to come out of this one. So that had to be replaced, and like I said, I prefer them just for the cost and easeability. And you may not know this, but there was a kind of a conflict. I never said those were stronger than U-joints. Those words got put in my mouth. That's a video for a different day, but I never said that. It's just a simple fact that I can slide this in a Jeep, move on about my business, and be done. If it goes bad, I can go get a lifetime warranty. Or if it goes bad like the first year, I get labor claims. So it's a win-win-win for me. U-joints are just a pain. Normally like 91 through basically 06, literally just pull your U-joint shaft in, slide the CV in there, move on about your business. They have ABS tone wheels, which if you have ABS, they work. If you don't have ABS, they don't even get in the way. So just very easy. And this is what's called center axle disconnect. I don't know this, but it sounds good. They started this in the 80s, and I'm pretty sure that's when the whole gas crisis thing was. So normally if you spin a tire, the drive shaft will spin. And I know you can't see it, but it's not spinning. So what's going on is this axle's going in, turning these spider gears, which is turning the middle spider gears, which is turning this side spider gear. And there's a shaft right here that's just sitting there free floating. Well, there's a collar that slides back and forth when you pull it into full drive, and that collar will slide over and connect both of those axles. So now it's the same as that over there. I think it's something to do with gas mileage. I mean, it does help gas mileage, but this thing probably gets 14, and when I do this, it'll probably get 13.5. One of the things, if you want to argue about it, basically 91 up until, I don't know, I think JL's finally went back to it. So for 30 years they didn't use it at all. Now they're kind of going back to it. Either way, I don't care nothing about this right here. So normally you would have an axle seal right here, but now this needs oil, so they've moved the axle seal all the way to out here. So if I put that one in there, it's just gonna pour oil out. So I've done that before, but I've never done the bearings, and that's what I'm fixing to show you about. I tried to go find a Renix bearing just for visuals. Evidently I throw them all away to avoid confusion. But if you look, this is just a 91 and newer bearing. They basically just sit flush. I mean, they just button or slide up there and just sit flush. But on a Renix, for some reason, they have like a step right here, and this bearing will actually come back up in there. And obviously with that tone ring, it won't fit. But I'm hoping and thinking that size right there, if you knock this tone ring off, will slide up in there. There's no way to get the camera in there, but if you look where that piece right there is, it actually goes up inside of there. So I don't know, something I've never did before. I like learning stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna get the thing took apart. This seal I've got, I'm pretty sure is what the internet was calling the Subaru seal, but I've got like 10 of them ordered for that, so if I don't get the seal, I'll just wait on it. So it may be a little hard to see with no tires on it, but I figured at this point I should show you exactly what's going on. If you have the tires on and it's in like park or something, when you spin one tire, it'll spin the other. Y'all can see these. Can't spin the drive shaft, so it spins the other tire. So now this drive shaft, you can spin it free, but it doesn't change the story. Watch as I spin this, it's going to spin its spider gear, which counters the in-between gears, I guess you call them, and then it spins the other spider gear, which goes to this axle here, which I'm about to show you. Got you zoomed in so you can see what's happening. When I spin the driver's side axle, it's just spinning this intermediate shaft, which is basically, I would call it free floating, but good as you're going to get with this setup, other than lockout hubs. But when you engage full drive, it uses vacuum to slide this collar over, and now it's just like any other four-wheel drive in the first place. And you can't, well, I'll just spin the camera if y'all can see. If that, and well, let's put a screwdriver in. Now if you spin it, it spins the drive shaft as normal. So basically, in a sense, if I get rid of this center axle disconnect, it's the same as the rest of them on the road. There's oil in this for that. There's a seal right here, I believe. Yeah, pretty sure it's right there. So now, my axle's not big enough, you'll see when I get it apart. So now I need a seal here. And we'll just leave this dry, it won't even matter. Let me finish getting it took apart. I figured y'all wanted to be here, but let me just show you what's going on. See, these are basically the same. This is what I was talking about. That bearing, if you line them up, face is about to right, but this goes back just about, well, about the width of my finger back. So I'm hoping if I get rid of that ABS wheel there, that it'll just slide up in there. Because I think the seal is right here versus the way the other one's made. Well, you know, it seals right there on its own self, whereas this actually seals on the axle. So terrible design, but whatever. And then this is the long shafts. Like I said, you've put the two together, you've got the same shaft, but this one seals right here because it needs oil. That's as close to the outside, I guess you'd say. But technically now this don't need oil till inside of there. So there's where the new seal will go if this works. Never done it. Gotta get these cotter pins out of the way real quick. Man, that one's made out of like hardened steel right there. Alright, maybe this gun will do it. It's not my strongest one. Yep. Somebody's gonna be bragging on Milwaukee right there. For some reason these always seem to get stuck right there. I actually had to get one and get a press to press it out of the bearing. Looks like a reasonably new bearing, maybe. Alright, let's just try that. Come on, man. Somebody been whooping on it with a hammer. But it did move, so it'll come off. We can check this out. There we go. That's a lot easier. So, moment of truth. That's that. Uh, 2.876 maybe. Negative. I wonder if it's just that ring. This is a lot smaller. When you buy RCVs, hey, I'll be right back. When you buy RCVs, it comes with this little piece of metal right there. I wonder if that's like a interchangeable seal surface. So I think I got an RCV box upstairs. Let me go check. Crazy. I swear I think we've bought 8, if not 9 sets of Dana 30 RCVs. It comes with this piece. I don't know, but I've been measuring from what I ain't got it off there, but from the lip I can catch, it's about 2.75, which would be a common measurement. And if you get down in here, if you all was to knock the tone wheel off, 2.75, from what I can tell. Maybe this is something common that we don't know about, maybe? I know it's the same spline, but let's check. Yep. So maybe if I get this tone ring off and then can get this off safely, I bet that can be bought. Y'all can't even see what I'm talking about. It's this little ring I showed you earlier. Sorry about that. But if I can get it off safely, I bet I can just put it on that CV axle. I swear I've never done this. Let me... I'm gonna try it with a vise and chisel just because I'm gonna say most people at home is probably gonna be the way they're doing it, if they're doing this. It literally has no pressure, it just reads ABS, so hopefully it's not on there like crazy tight. Maybe? Maybe? I think it moved. Can't get in there to get it. Yeah, we're getting there. Might just take a second. Try not to mess your sealing surface up. Probably could heat it and be easy, but there we go. Sweet. I don't know what to do with my hands. Kind of excited for no reason. Come on, man. Let's go check it out. So now we're looking pretty much about the same. Now we want this to be 2.75. Looks like it's got a little taper. That's pretty close. I'm still guessing on this one. Let's just try this for craps and giggles. Man, that's gotta be it. That's got to. Can't believe I ain't heard nobody trying to do this. Let's see. Gotta get that one off without damaging it. So let's figure that out. I don't know if I should heat it and just barely tap it off there, or try it with a. We'll try it with force. I got these somewhere else if I screw them up. Hoping this will be just a slightly easier, so I got a less aggressive hammer and chisel. Got movement. Oh yeah. Yes! Don't get too excited and get ahead of yourself in there and warp it. Oh man. I hope that's what we need right there. Hope. Let's go see if it fits. So now, let's just start like this. Same surface we just took it off of. 2.737. So 2.79. Huh. Let's just see what happens. That's not a very big gap if anything, but it's kind of odd to be that close. Dang it. Literally the winning ticket out of here. Alright, let me do some studying. Well, I got to doing some discovery, and for y'all at home that just want to simply do this, I got very good news for you. All you gotta do is put it together. This goes in there, and when I stuck it off in there, literally, it just falls into place. And I was like, that's not a sealing surface. I mean, it is, but seals are supposed to be tighter. So, let me grab you. I got to digging around with a screwdriver, and like if you spin it, well, how'd I spin it? If you spin it, you can see right there would be my sealing surface. Well, I got to poking at it, and it's got a rubber seal down in there. So literally, this is more or less a dust cover. So I mean, is it important? I'm not gonna say it's not important, but it's not that important. Basically, the new bearing, clean it off where you can see. Well, it's dirty, but you can see that's its sealing surface right there. So could it have an external dust cover like this one? Could, but for some reason they quit making it that way. So it don't have to have this. So literally, if you got a new CV axle, knock that tone ring off, or you can just cut it with a grinder and pop it off there. Try not to get into the CV part, but literally you could just take this bearing, and as far as I know, back spacing wise, should be good. Well, hell, I can just do it this way. There's the old one that come out of the Jeep. Yes, it's dead on. It's hard to set up because it's bigger right here, but yeah, it's spot on. So literally, if you want to do this, you could just knock that off, put them together. But I'm gonna try to figure out how to put this on just for the video's sake. Hack job. Let me figure it out. Alright, I know somebody's gonna make fun of it, but I don't care. It's gonna work just fine. Full tape. It's basically like ductwork tape, I guess you'd say. It's literally metal. It's really sticky, so I sit here and cut wraps of it, and I mean, on one more wrap you probably just leave it the way it is, but I'm gonna put red thread locker on there. She should be good to go. So I'm gonna get the other one done, and I gotta figure out how to get this other shaft out of this bearing, unless I'm buying a bearing. Well, let's just try it while we're here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and slide that. That gap right there is pretty close. So. Ta-da! But we're still not done. We got to get this seal in the housing. I was just trying to let all the gear oil drip dry, but I'm gonna get this other one knocked out and figure out how to get this other one out of the axle or bearing. Get the axle out of the hub. I just got to learn how to talk. Got both of them on the heater, drying the Loctite. I'm gonna get this carrier pulled out. Alright, so this is a normal axle seal. It's actually the one I'm gonna put on that side, and this is the seal I got. Like, I don't know if this is the seal they was calling the Subaru seal or not, but usually I guess there's a spot milled out right there, but you can see there's nothing there. Yeah, that makes sense. They probably mill the tube out. The only thing that kind of sucks is, like, if you look how that's made, when you're putting the axle shaft in, it'll catch and it'll slide it up on there, whereas this is just going to be a seal. So luckily you got a spot right here you can probably support it. So I got to figure out how to get that knocked in there that way. I stuck it up there that way because that's usually the way you do, but we're trying to keep oil in here, so I got to have the lip facing that way. Let me figure it out and I'll show you what I come up with as far as getting it in there. So yeah, basically just look right there. That's just a piece of DOM tube shoved off in there. Hasn't had no machining. And if you look at that one, they just machined the surface for the axle seal. So they just had no reason to put a seal there, but we're going to. Perfectly not the right tool for the job, but I got a piece of my roll cage material. I got this thing well, not soaking. I got red Loctite on the outside, but well, it fits right on there. Stay, don't fall. So I'm gonna get that thing hammered off in there. Try to get it straight as possible. My bandsaw don't cut perfect. Alright, slide her up there. This may be the one the internet says you have to grind on. Do not know. No, it fits perfect. Hard to see and hammer from 3 counties away. Gotta get the front pushed over just like that and be flush with the tube. We'll be good to go. As soon as I put the other one in. Sweet. So gotta get the other one put in. I'll see how I'm gonna do it. Not that it even matters. I completely forgot that I just put these 456 in, so this is perfect to get the brake-in oil out. As long as I don't have to take it back apart. Alright, something you'd expect from me. I got a socket that fits it perfectly. Got a long extension. And it'll hang on to the socket. And now I've got another good extension. What I do is I take one of them cheap adapters, and it's soft material. That way I don't mess up my extensions. Oh, this is even farther away. Nah, it'd be alright. I was gonna put thread locker on there, but I think it'll work. Can't see nothing. It should bottom out where it needs to be. Yep. You can hear it like a dead thud. Oh yeah, perfect. Sweet. Now, let me study some more. Man, I got both axle seals. Everything's about perfect. Let me study, figure out if I'm doing anything else. I did notice one thing I really don't know what to do. Yeah, I do. Well, let me just show you anyway. So I got to studying, I seen that seal, and then I thought about it, I was like, those recess way back off in there. So I look at the edge of the bearing, it'll sit there. It's a good, about 5/8 of an inch. And if you look from this surface to the seal, it's only about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. So I was gonna stick the carrier up there, but I believe it would be smarter to go get the axle, put it on the bearing, put it in the hole, and see where the sealing surface mates up. The fork right there, I did look at it. It's just gonna hang out, as far as I know, not even touch nothing. So we just gotta seal it back up. It'll just be it'll just sit there and do nothing. So it's very close, but I think I wanna do something about it while I'm here. It would probably ride, but if you look very carefully deep off in the seal right there, you can start to see shiny. I guess I'll put a Sharpie marker on there, paint marker, pull it back out after it dries, but this is one of the axles. I mean, it's literally riding right there, so I probably need to scoot it back and get it in the sealing surface. But other than that, it is in the axle. This is awesome. It's gonna drive just like it did before. Man, perfection. Disregard the dirt there, but look, that's perfect axle contact or spider gear contact. You can see. And hold a lighter my finger. So you can see flush on that one. That one's basically same flush on there. Bolts up, everything's clear. Let me show you though. Fork. So no matter what happens with this fork, you can see it can only move that much. So there's literally no possible way that it could touch the axle. If you're picking up when I'm putting down, camera don't like this. So I'm gonna get them two cleaned up, fill it full of oil, and I guess that's it. I know it's gonna work, so get it on the ground, I'll give you all some part numbers and good to go. This is so crazy because, like, I don't think y'all understand. I've wanted to know this for years, but I've never had like a die-hard reason to stop what I'm doing and figure it out. But now making these videos, I do. So I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all are helping me and I'm helping y'all. This is all working out wonderful. That'd be the short side. Oreilys, not Reman brand. This is just straight up their new one. I'm gonna test these one day. This is just the ones that I use. I know they work pretty good. That's the long side right there. Like I said, not Reman. It's just their precision brand. So that's that. And if you don't go to Oreilys, 96, 78 Grand Cherokee, just call it a 97. Jeep Grand Cherokee, 6-cylinder V8, doesn't matter. Just a CV axle shaft. Any parts stores should have it. One more thing. Didn't show it in the video. This little clip goes on the intermediate shaft, like by the spider gears. Take a flathead, pop it out. And then I was doing the little fork assembly there, and I was wondering what I was going to do with the vacuum lines. I was like, so I just plugged them back up. So it's still going to move like it should. In case down the road somebody does, I don't think they will, but in case they do. And I was worried about sealing it up. Literally, that's the same area that a normal tube of axle would have, so you could just leave it out if you wanted to. I didn't. I put it back on there. This is that little seal. I got like 10 spicers on the way, but this is the seal, if you can make it out. 471765. So that's that. Then I wouldn't throw these away. In case you had to warranty them, you can hammer them back on there. Just say you had to beat on the axle to get it out. Foil tape, you probably could use electrical tape. I just didn't want to get hated on for it, so I used something a little better. And like I said, that's technically a dust cover. So I mean, if you ain't got the tools or nothing, cut these off with a grinder and just smack them in the bearing, be good to go. I was going to talk about U-joints. I'll save it for another day. And I do appreciate you watching, because exactly what I said, I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for y'all watching.